I think last week I spoke really into the mic like this.
Speak at the camera. Like, shout out to all the people watching right now. You remember my friend Harry?
Yeah.
We were celebrating his 21st at his place. He's got acreage. And at 10 o'clock at night, and we're all drunk. And one of the guys grabs out the chainsaw because we got a bushfire. We got a bushfire, so he grabs out a chainsaw because he wants to start chopping up more logs.
Hang on,
and
you got a bushfire or a bonfire?
Bonfire.
I was like, what are you doing bushfires for?
We're just welcome back to the number 5 podcast in the world. Like, comment, subscribe. Every like you give gives me more happiness. So please give me that happiness and subscribe as well, because it's always the same. Most people aren't subscribed and we don't feel that love. So give us some love if you're tuning in. But no, like, the chopping of the wood should be done before the fire, before the drinks, not at 10 o'clock when everyone's sourced.
I mean, are you proactive or reactive? He's very reactive, but
he's in the moment. He's very in the moment.
Like, I don't need to prepare.
And then what he does is he grabs an empty vodka bottle, or uses the last bit of vodka and gets kerosene on a paper towel and puts it in, and then throws it into the fire.
This guy's a wild boy.
He's on the next series of Survivor.
Yeah,
for sure.
But on Netflix, you've got Dave Chappelle. He's put out another special, and he's under fire again. At what point do they just stop trying to cancel Dave Chappelle?
They never will, because he continues to just push their buttons. And he does it intentionally because it's fun for him. I can imagine he just enjoys people trying to cancel him because he's uncancelable.
I think you're only cancelable if you will stop and will bow. And he's at the point, like, how old? He's probably 50 to 60s. Mm-hmm. I don't think he gives a fuck.
No, and that's been his thing.
He's made his money.
He never gave a fuck. The Chappelle show back in the day was fucking crazy. Like, some of the skits in that show, I don't know if you've ever seen them, but I can't like repeat what's said in them because it's just white guys dropping N-bombs and just like, what the fuck's going on here? But people loved it because he was just pushing the envelope for comedy, and it was hilarious. I was like, oh my God.
It's definitely that hate that brings in the views kind of scenario.
But he's so good though.
Yeah.
That's also
it's,
big.
It's the quality of the content where you have that, percentage of the population that want that every week.
Yeah. Or every time he releases. But I feel like his specials have progressively just turned into more talks with a funny take.
Yeah, he's describing society and culture, and then he's just putting a funny spin on it.
Which I think is why he's under fire. This time talking about transgender, and I can't remember the other things that he got into, but
every special he releases, he gets in trouble for talking about that because he seems to keep going there.
But at what point do they save their time trying to cancel Dave Chappelle?
They're not very bright, the people who are trying to cancel.
He's just pushing buttons. He's pushing everyone's buttons on purpose. Views, you name it. Like,
he don't give a fuck.
He doesn't give. This is the point. I think he just does whatever the funniest thing is. He's just got whatever the funniest take is at that moment. Because these guys, they don't just come up with a bit and go tell it on a special. He's been in clubs or at the moment doing those, because he was one of the guys who did like...
The car meet?
He made like a festival where people would come in and they would all get tested, and he'd perform with heaps of big comedians just to random people in like Austin or some shit. So like, they've worked on these jokes for a year leading up to this special. And he's had that positive feedback, people loving it. Like, you can't cancel someone like that because his following, for one, his following is too strong. Like, you can't cancel someone if their core following will support him through anything. Like, you can't cancel someone like that.
And Netflix paid $20 million for the special that just got released. Netflix don't want it fucking cancelled.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you can't cancel someone who's just that established and that good.
Always comes back to money.
I think a lot of the time that is it.
But his thing is like, he doesn't give a fuck about the money, so he's got all the money.
Yeah.
But that's how he got the money, because he didn't give a fuck about the money.
Exactly.
So where does it start then?
Common denominator, money.
Because back in the day when he first came up with his show, he turned down a like very lucrative contract to keep his show going because he had to give up some kind of creative control. Or like,
was this the Chappelle show?
Yeah, the Chappelle show. He had to give up it was either creative control or like a huge percentage of what the show came in with. So he turned down like I don't even know what it was, but it was multi-million dollars because he's like, nah, fuck this, I'm not doing it. So he went away, was not anywhere. No one heard about him for like 10 years. And then Netflix gives him like $60 million to come back because he just slowly comes back on the scene. Because he's like, if you're that good, you just back yourself.
Yeah.
If you're going to bring in that amount of views and you're worth that amount of money, well,
And he's talked about by comedians as like he's the top at the moment.
He's the GOAT.
Almost all of them say like he's the best pure comedian at the moment.
What do you mean? What do you mean pure?
Like comedian. Like
Oh,
you know how
okay,
they say they love this.
Like Kevin Hart's probably the biggest comedian.
Yeah.
But Dave Chappelle's.
Yeah, and Dave Chappelle
Okay.
would be freaking close to Kevin Hart in terms of popularity in the public too. Just he's more raunchy, so he's more divisive.
I
than
don't think
Kevin
Dave Chappelle would be. Like Kevin Hart's
But
one
if-
of the biggest people in.
Kevin
understand, but
Kevin
it-
Hart is the GOAT.
I know, but if Netflix are paying him that much money, he's still massive.
Yeah. Okay.
For a popularity, I'm not saying he's as big as Kevin Hart to everyone.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, he's more divisive in what he says. He's got more
It's impossible.
crazy
for-
taste.
yeah.
Kevin Hart is just funny, but not really offending anyone.
Kevin Hart.
Chappelle is I don't give a fuck. I'll offend whoever, but I'm still funny.
Kevin Hart's delivery as well. It's the delivery from Kevin Hart, and not every time what he's saying. It's that kind of content. Yeah,
Whatever he's-
He
gets
has
excited.
the Kevin Hart joke where he's talking about how his mom told me to tell you.
Yeah.
Shut your damn motherfucking business, bitch. Long ass titty, no nipple, bitch. I said you say one cuss word. You said 84 of them.
And then Dave Chappelle's just like, yeah, talking real slow. Just that. Oh, don't mimic that accent because I don't know what the fuck that was. But he's just real talking to you. He's talking to you. and he's
Would you rather?
hilarious.
Would you rather be a comedian's comedian then, or would you rather be a people's comedian?
I mean,
Because people's probably got more money in it. But would you rather that
I don't know. It's not
that
that deep.
acceptance within the? And Kevin Hart will still have it, but I think it's different.
there's something to be respected by your peers who do the same thing as you that I would tend to gravitate towards. I mean, if I was a comedian who was making no fucking money, I'd be like, this is shithouse. But if you're a comedian and you're doing all right, you're making like good enough money, like more than a decent standard of living, fuck yeah. But I think I would lean towards comedians because the people who know the craft respect you because you're obviously really
Yeah.
good at that craft. And I tend to be more
Specialized
in favour of
area.
that.
What would
Yeah.
you prefer? Would you prefer mainstream?
Look, if you're funny, you're funny. Like I don't think it's that
They're
deep.
all funny.
I don't think it's
not-
that deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Joe Rogan talks about he'll talk about people who he goes, they're the funniest people he's ever met, but for me, they're people I've never heard of.
Hmm.
Whereas you've got these big Kevin Hart type comedians.
And part of that is like luck, or part of that is also just their commitment to keep evolving, keep going. Because I think a lot of these guys, this is again regurgitating what I've heard from Joe Rogan. It's like they'll be really good, they'll get an act that's really good, but then they'll just keep reusing that act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
and if
hard.
you're not evolving, you're not moving forward, but you can keep that going to new people for a long time. So
Yeah.
they just stay comfortable.
And if you didn't start a podcast during the pandemic, you're also not a comedian. And we're the same, but
We are
they all-
comedians.
I think
That's exactly
I
what-
think
yeah.
as a comedian, it's like really hard to stay relevant. Like really hard to continue to keep evolving, continue to stay funny, stay in the headlines all the time, and that's why they go these routes of let's talk shit like shit. So
I think it's so hard because
Stay
to
relevant.
develop a 60-minute special, it takes like some people can do it each year, but Joe Rogan talks about taking some time off to do it every 2 years.
yeah,
Yeah.
So I think that's why
a
it's
lot
so
of time
hard.
goes into like what they do.
Yeah, because it's the 5 nights a week going up 3 times a night. Some people and
Yeah.
just refining the act, figuring out what works, cutting, trimming the fat. It's like, holy
Yeah.
fuck, that's a process.
And at the end of
Sure.
this year, James Bond is coming out.
Oof.
No Time to Die.
It's been a while.
How long have we been
it's-
listening to No Time to
Oh.
Die by Billie Eilish?
Like
2
years.
real, yeah.
Honestly, like 2 years.
At this point, I don't know if I give a shit anymore. Like,
It's-
I'll watch,
It
but
feels like an old movie to me.
It's getting to that point where like I feel like I've seen the movie, but it's not out yet. Like
it better be fucking good now. It better be. If it's not the
Yeah.
best James Bond ever, I'm going to be disappointed. And that's not fair to think like that, but that's how I feel.
like surely now that all that like that whole soundtrack's gonna be that old. Like they've got to have a new one.
Literally, yeah.
Like come on, bring out a new. Like,
Where's
song.
the baby? Where's the baby in this one? What the fuck?
It'd be hard though. Like the expectations would have changed.
That's for sure.
Get the UK drill artist in the next James Bond.
Yeah, 100%. Stormzy.
Yes.
Who else do you
sure,
listen
man.
to? Who are those other guys?
Oh, Stormzy.
Dave.
Love Dave.
Is Stormzy even relevant anymore? Because he's like the OG. man.
Flash.
Yeah, he's good.
First one I ever heard of.
He's good.
He's still
Even his
kills-
old stuff. I'm still finding old stuff that I missed
Let's go.
of him. Yeah.
That's
insane.
rare that you
K-side.
find someone
Oh.
you can go back on.
Yeah, I didn't listen to him for a while, and then got back into like the UK kind of stuff. Sometimes you can't listen to drill all the time, get that aggressive all the time. So I went back to the slower, kind of more rap kind of stuff, and yeah, Stormzy's definitely in that category.
The goat.
For James Bond though,
Talk to me.
like revisiting that, Daniel Craig, how can he be replaced? Who can it be? Because people want a woman, people want a black man.
I mean, they just have to be.
Or does it have to be a white man?
It has to be someone just sophisticated, someone who's like that classy look, that refined gentleman, older. Like it's just got to fit that mold.
It's got to fit the James Bond mold. Whether if it ends up being a female, like they do have to still have that sophistication. That you know what I mean. It's the whole idea of James Bond.
Do you reckon it's possible for it to be a female though? Because like I don't see a female playing James Bond and having that edge.
I honestly think
it
it is.
Jeanette
I think
Bond?
it's possible. Obviously they're not going to have the name James. It might be
Jeanette Bond.
Yeah, or Jeanette. Like you know.
Did we just come up with that together? Let's go.
Potentially, but
I mean, I think they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Oh
but
yeah.
I think
They're still going to get views either way. Like people are still going to like the franchise. If they end up changing it, people are still going to go watch that movie.
I mean, yeah, some will. I think a lot of people would drop off because they're just used to what the certain thing is. It's like
People
just
drop
make
off, but they'll go watch it. They'll go watch that one that comes out.
I think so, but then female Ghostbusters copped a lot of heat back in the day for bringing that out, and that
True.
wasn't even anywhere near as established. I'm like, at what point just make a different series? Like,
I don't think that's how it works.
I know,
That's
because the money's not there when you
I
do it
don't,
like
I don't
that.
know movies, and it's not how it works.
How many bonds have they been through now?
I mean, there's a lot
From
of
Sean Connery in like the 50s or something.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
there's been 5 or 6 now. So
Yeah.
Oh,
I
wait,
mean,
with Daniel Craig, you mean?
No, I mean just in general.
in general, I think
Yeah.
there's been 5 at least.
No.
Yeah.
Hasn't
Way
there been like
more.
6?
No, it's like 20
thought
odd.
there was
Daniel
like- it was
Craig's
like-
4 now, isn't it?
It was Sean Connery. There was
Casino Royale
George
was-
Lazenby, Roger
Oh,
Moore.
you mean how many different actors?
Oh,
Yeah,
he
different
knows.
actors.
I thought you meant how many different James
Yeah.
Bond movies.
Oh,
Okay.
dude, Dad used to watch all the Bonds back in the day, so I've seen them all at least a couple times.
Yeah.
I can't remember the old
I
ones.
think
as
I've
well.
genuinely watched Skyfall 10 times.
That was a cool movie.
That
shot
was a
in
great
Scotland.
movie.
How
Yeah.
cool.
The
was
scenery
that?
was unreal. That house, just crazy.
Yeah, that was dope.
Like I'd go there just
been
for
so long now.
just to take photos.
Apparently, it doesn't look like it
No.
does. Yeah. Just the color of the fucking phone vibrating.
you told us to put it in drive mode.
I know.
mate. You leave
You
yours.
told us flick it on silent. I don't
Like-
want to hear anything.
Do as I say,
Luke
not
the
as I do.
dictator.
Mate. Fucking hell.
Luke the dictator over here.
Unbelievable.
Fucking hot in here too.
I know.
Oh.
I'm kind of liking it. I feel more like antsy
Very.
and more angry. It might be more harsh takes.
Get a bit of edge.
Yeah,
fire
yeah.
you up a little bit.
Let's go.
I'm just looking at how many different James Bond actors there were because there was Sean Connery, David Niven, George Lazenby, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, Daniel Craig. So
Okay.
that's what 7.
Okay, so this is
7.
yeah. I mean, I'm all for Idris Elba. Like he kind of fits the mold. Like if they're gonna go a different direction, just like change up.
Could it be Michael B. Jordan?
He's not old enough. They need to be 50s. They need to be that like they look older. For me, my take on what a James Bond is, they just need to be an older gentleman.
Do you think?
He could be in like 10 years, whenever. He just needs to be older. He needs to have the grey hairs coming through. Like that's the role. They just have to be older.
Rugged. rugged.
On
Yeah,
the
that's
topic
what
of
it
Michael B. Jordan, like,
I love that
do you
guy.
think he's? Oh, love him too.
Oh,
Amazing.
Dreamy. But go on.
Next Creed movie, please give it to me like now. No, but do you think his previous roles would take him out of the conversation for it because of the previous roles he's played?
I'm not sure. I don't because I couldn't tell you what the roles Daniel Craig played before.
Like, the roles that he's played are American, like, you know, big country, American flag kind of stuff in a lot of the movies he's played, like for those boxing movies and stuff that he's been in. Like, do you think those roles and like the perception people have of him now might take him out of the conversation?
I'm sure that might factor in, and for that same reason is why I think Idris Elba would be really good because he seems to play that like classy gentleman even when he's
Yeah.
like even when he's a bad guy.
He's got that presence.
He's that it's that like
Yeah.
refined like older, calm, but like
Yeah.
fucking get shit done.
But do you think it's weird that he's played that like bad role and then he's going to go into like James Bond?
I don't think that matters too much.
Because
Like,
you know some actors are like they only play that specific role and like that's in all the movies
Chris
they're
Hemsworth.
in. Yeah, he's the same in every movie that he's in.
I hope it doesn't factor in because I like that because James Bond has kind of evolved from this guy who's like the perfect guy, like does nothing wrong. Now he's like
Oh, he's
kind
on
of
the edge.
messed up. He's going through some internal battles as he's going through. He's real like the quieter, like angsty, but still like
Battered and keeps
like he's
himself.
been through some shit. So I feel like there's more potential for someone who's been a bad guy in the past to be that kind of role.
In this Bond movie, does he die if there's no time to die? Does he die again and then he comes back like Skyfall?
Because 007 just comes back.
Tell me when you first watched Skyfall, you actually like genuinely thought that like he was gone. I did.
I can't remember what my
Like,
reaction
I
was.
thought
It
that
was
was
so
it.
long ago
So
now.
long.
I can't remember yet.
I thought that was it. I thought it was done. And
Because it-
that's when I thought they were going to bring in a new one.
Weren't they talking about
Was
that?
it a
Like he was
cliff?
done?
Was it a cliff? He fell off a cliff?
Oh, he got shot on the train and he
Oh.
dropped into the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
And then he
watched it that many
shows up
times
in the
that
shower
day.
or some shit
Yeah.
with that chick.
He's in the yeah.
Look, I didn't think he was dead because I've seen that. The Bourne Identity did the same thing. He fell off a thing. Looks like he's shot in the water. I'm like, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
They never die when they fall in the water. There's always potential
Yeah.
to come back. But no, I'm excited to see the movie. But
So does
also,
this
I hope
mean
it's good because
it can't be a woman?
I mean,
'Cause-
it wouldn't be the same for me. It just wouldn't be the same.
It definitely
movie.
wouldn't be the same, but I think even if they factor it in, like James Bond, and then he has like an accomplice that is a woman, like that can definitely happen. I think there'll be some sort of integration.
I'm going to argue back because I don't feel like James Bond can ever have a partner in crime type accomplice because they're such a solo driven
Yeah.
person.
That's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
it can't be one that comes with him to the next movie. He might for that movie he's there, but they're not going to come through to the next. Like,
Yeah, okay, I get what
That's
you're
his
saying.
kind of-
They're not going to move with him.
Yeah.
it'll be for that one movie.
Yeah.
and then that person might die.
they're going to die at the end. Like, you have to get him out of here.
Rank your social media apps.
Okay, all of them bottom 5. Terrible.
All right. Oh, gonna get Instagram one.
Not TikTok.
Oh, TikTok I probably spend more time on, but that's just because it's a trap.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's the
I'll
Chinese
say
algorithm at work.
Instagram, Snapchat, because I'm on it all the time.
Oh, Snapchat.
Just because,
Young boys.
because it's younger. Like I'm not on Messenger all
Pull
the
up your screen
time.
time. Do you have your phone? Grab your screen time. Because
Instagram will
Instagram's
win for
probably my number
sure.
one. I don't actually spend that much time on TikTok. Like, I don't
No, I
scroll.
do.
I don't know.
Just like when there's nothing else to do, kind of thing.
YouTube I use a lot.
Oh, dude, my screen time's been off, so I have no idea what mine is.
What do you mean? You don't turn it on?
I never set it up when I got this phone, when I got my new phone.
Look at this
I
guy.
know I checked previous.
Dude, but honestly, I can tell you what my screen time is. My screen time is majority Instagram. Is the only one I really go on and
here we
scroll
go.
through.
So,
because they-
oh wow, last week's average
Go on, talk to me, talk dirty to me. 3.5 hours.
six
A day.
6 hours.
6 hours a
No,
day.
6 hours 58. It's fucking 7 hours.
7 hours a day.
That was on average.
What are you doing, mate?
I don't know, that's so
what's
bad.
taking up most of your screen time? Is it like TikTok 3 hours? Because if that's the case,
Mine is 6 hours 6 hours.
Let me go.
6 hours 6 minutes.
what's the most
Nah,
of yours?
Instagram.
Instagram.
So
Yeah, but like how long?
by order, I've got Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and then Spotify.
Do you ever go outside and just look into the distance?
Do you?
Yeah, that's a
Me?
bad. Hang on, that's
I
a
sometimes look outside my
that's got to
backyard.
be
I'm just
bad.
like,
I must have been on my phone so much last week. I can't even believe it's that high.
Well, you weren't at work. That's probably why.
Yeah, that's true actually.
Like think
I haven't been
about
at work.
6 hours a day. You sleep what, 8 hours a night?
About that.
Another 6 hours. That's 14 hours your day taken up.
Hang
by
on, but that's an
sleeping.
average. So some days,
Some days you're fucking.
Yeah.
Some days you're just on your phone.
yeah.
Like I don't think mine's ever been that high.
I will say.
It's been probably bad.
Do
but
you
not-
spend a lot of time on YouTube?
Not as much as
YouTube-
I used to. Not as much
YouTube
as I
increases
used to.
mine. Mine's 10 hours a week on YouTube. But a lot of that is just passive, where it's running in the background or
Yeah.
I'm listening on AirPods, not actually looking at it.
You're like that, hey though. Like you can be doing something and just be listening.
Yeah,
that's
always
how
listening.
I live. I
Yeah.
live with until I started living at a home with a child present. I would always have headphones.
I got a good question for you. When you're listening to music, is it like you flick music on and like you're just doing it, or is it like just in the car? Like for me,
All the time.
my main listening time is when I'm in the car,
That's all I listen to
or
now.
I'm at the gym or something like that.
Never music. I never listen to music. It's always a podcast.
Oh,
But
okay.
He's fucking weird. Don't ask him.
I
Yeah,
never-
well, he's the
I-
guy who's rating every social media like that low.
Yeah.
I never. I spend too much time on Instagram of a night, like right before bed. That's
Dinner.
like for whatever reason, I'll just go on there, start scrolling. Look, the suggested reels are a bit cooked at the moment, and Jess is questioning me because there are some fairly attractive women on there. Like,
Well,
babe, this isn't me. I
we
swear
definitely
to
know
God,
a few
babe.
like that.
I swear to God, babe. The algorithm's just cooked. They just know my age and they're just suggesting
Yeah.
this to me. I'm sure, but it's like
You're spending too long on it.
They definitely know your preferences.
He keeps revisiting it at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
at night. It's just Jess goes to bed at 9. He's on at 11.
I guarantee, babe. It's just they know my age. That's
No,
all it is. 26-year-old male. That's what they're suggesting.
Do you know, like, we actually need to build up your social media kind of status.
That's what I've been
I
saying
mean-
to him.
Yeah.
He needs to develop.
Everyone, drop your ad dinner so everyone can go follow.
What is it? At C Lentakis or some
Oh,
shit?
Lentakis.c potentially. I can't even.
It changes
I think
every
we
week.
need to work on a handle. Just something that's a bit more clean so that people can actually find you.
Lenko. Done.
Has everyone asked you what your last name is before your first name? Because, like, why would you put the last name first?
I'm a family
Yeah, I
man.
don't-
He's
No,
got the
but
last name
I
first.
represent the family.
You know
bro.
people. You
That's
know
fair.
people who put like
Respect.
their.
Lannister.
They have their name and then in their bio they got their like full name.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have my full name as my like name, and then my like nickname in the like bio section. But those people who make those names and like they shorten it, where to a point where like it's not readable, like it's not actually a word.
It's not.
What about
It's
Lenko?
like, I can't
I'll
find
do
it.
this. Lenko.
Do you know what? People aren't going to be
Conlent.
able to find you.
Conlent.
We've got a very loyal following.
Constantine the Great. Fucking go. I'm probably already taken.
Just
Probably.
Seaman.
make it possible to
Seaman.
find.
Okay.
Yeah, just make it like make it easy so that people can find it.
Yeah. I mean,
Is it Lentakis?
even just put your-
Lentakos? Like, what is it? And
Yeah.
people aren't
Lentakos?
searching.
I haven't heard that.
Is
in
your
a while.
name? Is your full name in the bio? In the little.
He wouldn't even know what that is.
Yeah, I know there's a bio.
Oh
I don't
my
know what's
God.
in there.
'Cause
I probably still got Subaru
you can
BRZ
still-
owner or something in there.
If people try to find your full like search your full name and your full name's in your bio, it'll still come up.
Yeah, look, I've done a lot of thinking in this short time, and I'm going on a Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook detox. Thank you.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
I'm getting a flip phone.
I read an article about that.
We're never gonna win with him, mate.
Yeah, I know.
I'm too old, bro.
No, I was reading an article about the Facebook detox, and he goes, this guy took a Facebook detox, but he goes, the worst part about taking this detox is I couldn't tell anyone how good it actually was.
And you're not gonna call someone. Like, by the way, my Facebook.
He goes, I'm not going to go back to 2005.
Yeah.
I'll just hand out flyers. It's fine. I'll send an email.
No, like
Put papers up on
Yeah.
posts.
not saying that like social media is everything, but like because I don't have that many kind of responsibilities. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing in your spare time? Like, in my spare time, like before I go to bed,
needs a couple
I'm
of
3
people-
hours. Okay, I'm just thinking about that 6 hours on average a day for probably 2.5 hours before kind of at night time after dinner.
Probably depends.
If I'm not studying or whatever, even if I am studying on the phone, like listening to music or whatever, like you're still on that for that period of time. Like, what are you doing in that kind of period of time?
I mean, look, at
What
the
are you
moment,
doing when we're all fixated on the screen?
I bought Xbox back, so I'm fixated on a different screen. I've just been playing.
Yeah. Well,
I'm gonna
I want to
go-
see the screen time for that then.
No, it's honestly been like an hour a night at most.
Dino has the
This is
timer
what you
off.
think
He's
it
got
is.
the, he's got the,
Yeah, he turns it off.
There's still like
Jess has got that
If
alarm
we
on
ask
for the
Jess,
hour.
is that what she'd say?
Yeah, like, dude, I've been so keen to play, but I just haven't had time lately.
Yeah.
I'm a busy boy.
Yeah. I kind of
I'm a busy little dad.
I'm just falling out of like, I just didn't play that much growing up.
Yeah.
So now it's like not even a thing I think about, like spare time, let's go on the PlayStation.
Yeah, well, this is one of my things. I think it's one of my favorite traits about myself is my ability to be obsessed with something.
He's
Obsessed with
stroking himself.
like
This guy,
the ability to be obsessed with something I like, which can also be a really terrible thing.
he's
like
he's really trying to get you to follow him now. Like, he's trying to tell you how good he is.
growing up, bro. Like I
He
would have.
doesn't, we wouldn't know this because he doesn't post anything about it.
He
Like,
doesn't
how
post
would anyone
anything.
know?
Dude,
Do you know, you'd have to be one of the most mysterious people I know. Hey.
do you want to know what I do in my spare time?
Yeah.
Keep following. Watch part 2.
That's where you drop your handle.
But no, fucking, I'll obsess about things, which you know about me. But
Yeah.
back in the day, the bad obsession was fucking video games. Like,
Yeah.
instead of studying, or even when I was like good at football, I kind of went more like, I'm gonna fucking just play video games and give a shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's a good trait to have if you use it for the right things. Terrible when it was just
How do
like,
you, is there a
When
way
it
to direct
becomes
it?
addictive, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it becomes addictive or you're like spending that time, like it's not then a release, it's like addiction. Like,
it's a
you're
need.
fixated on it.
yeah. And I think for a period it was kind of an addiction, but
Yeah.
it's definitely not an addiction anymore. Like I barely touch
And then it
the
starts
thing.
taking over your schoolwork and then it's game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like during uni it was an addiction. But
So you have an addictive personality.
no, I don't think
I'm gonna spin his best trade into
Yeah.
a fucking
it's
shit one.
not an addictive personality, mate.
It sounds
That's
like
not
it.
how they refer
Because
to
you
it
get
anymore.
obsessive.
It's not a personality trait anymore,
If you get obsessive, that's addictive.
but it's not a personality trait.
Yeah, but-
Addiction is now seen as like a disease,
Yeah, but
as
is that-
opposed to a trait.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm not addicted to. The only thing I'm addicted to at the moment is sugar. Like I kicked it for a week, and then
How many sugars in the coffee?
yeah, no sugars in coffee. But yesterday I fucking had some donuts. Like, oh,
How good?
I had
those
some
Krispies
cake.
were so good.
Bro, I bring some to work tomorrow. Like I'm set. We're all set for the
done.
day. You're all getting it. So
I'm excited.
I need to get them out of the house because I will eat them all if they stay in that fridge. Like
Yeah.
it's stupid.
But that sounds addictive. You're addicted.
Oh yeah, I'm addicted to sugar.
Okay, so how do you
Guaranteed.
determine? How are you saying to us
Talk to me.
one addiction is better than the other?
No, not addiction. I said obsession.
they're the same. I heard addiction.
Oh no, it's a bit different actually.
Obsession, like when I'm
you're
obsessed about
obsessed-
something,
yeah.
like when I was obsessed with golf, I think that was a good thing
Okay.
because it didn't take away from my life.
I think Jess said the same thing.
We-
It didn't put
really-
me in pre-diabetes. Like
We do want to see that dinner
Okay.
back. I'll be honest.
I mean, I'm thinking about getting into bow hunting. You know what I mean? So
Bow hunting. This guy.
I'm really flirting with the idea of getting a compact
Death?
bow. No, just learning how to use a bow. But that's
Soon
an
you're gonna be a
expensive.
kayaker.
That's an expensive entry point.
All right, campaign.
I need a few $100s to a few.
When are you going to get the time to go out for a day or day and a half, 2 days, whatever, go bow hunting?
No, that won't be for years. But before I can go hunt, I need to get good at the bow.
Okay. So while I've known you...
I gotta get
He's
good
never
at the bow.
picked up a bow in his
No,
life.
okay, so I want to break it down. So you said a couple of years until you actually get to utilize the bow in action.
Oh, it could even be 10 years, but yeah, go on.
Fuck me, it doesn't
Dude,
sound
this
like
is a
worth it.
long-term investment. Hey, shit.
Okay, it better be fucking good dividends. BRZ.
Talk to
That
me.
maybe lasted 8 months.
Yeah, but we
Golf,
we
3
now
months.
we now know why the BRZ
Dino,
didn't
we
work
love
out.
that car.
3 months. Keto, 4 weeks.
Oh, 4 weeks.
Doing a marathon, 6 weeks.
Oh, the marathon. Wait,
The marathon was never even weeks. Like the marathon was a thought of 2
It
days.
was just an entry.
Yeah.
let me break this down for you. The BRZ, I mean, that was meant to be a long-term thing, but, you know, you get your girlfriend pregnant, you got to get rid of the BRZ. You know what I mean? These things happen.
The BRZ,
The cat's out of the bag.
the dinner that we saw while the BRZ was around was just different.
Oh, he was a happy boy.
He was so happy.
I mean, I'm still okay with the Magan, but it's not the same.
Is there anything else you take pride in? Like you did that BRZ?
I mean, just turn away, but it's the only thing I've ever really loved.
Wow.
Wow.
That's good to know.
Honestly,
Joke,
though,
man. That's
honestly,
a joke, but
saying-
no, I did love that car.
I'm going to go
I
delete
fucking-
dating apps now.
The potential for I want it back. I'll bring it back in a few years. So worry.
saying
The
goodbye.
fans will be
Okay,
back.
you know, like people have that attachment to a certain thing or people or whatever. Was that like obviously that decision had to be made, blah blah blah. But that like couple of the days, like in the last few days, like were you driving it extra? Like talk us through the process of
Yeah,
saying
they're
goodbye.
giving up that BRZ.
No,
Yeah.
look, it didn't hurt because it felt like a responsibility and the right thing to do. And as an alpha male,
doesn't
you make the
mean-
right decision for your family.
That
Like-
doesn't mean it doesn't hurt.
Were you playing CU again? Like, like for the last ride? And
No,
the,
but I'll tell you, for the following weeks, every time I'd see one of them, I'd have a moment of like,
yeah.
every time I drive past, the same
No,
car, I'm
but
like,
being serious though, like you know when you like love a car or like you've seen that car, and you're like I really want that car. How often do you see it?
Whoa.
Then
oh, I see it
How
every day.
crazy is
I
it?
see multiple every day.
Yeah.
When I was going to buy it, it was the same thing. I would see them everywhere.
yeah,
After I sold it, I'd see them everywhere. But at the end of the day, it's just a car. Like that one, I don't give as much of a fuck about. Like,
but it wasn't just a car at the time.
That's not true.
yeah, like
You can't
do
say
give
that.
a fuck about it.
yeah, but
Yeah,
like
you love
at
that
the-
car.
It won't change my life that much now. I don't have it.
Yeah.
Like I don't care.
No,
I'm
but I
able
think
to
it-
Well,
rationalize.
that's what I say. It's just an A to B.
Yeah.
It's yeah, but it has. You're just a different person since the car's left.
You reckon I'm a bit angrier. I think I've got more of a temper.
I don't know if it's angry. It's just like I don't know. There's just you've lost the little look in the eye. You know?
Yeah, like I'm a bit distant now. Like
Yeah.
I'm not all here, am I?
Yeah.
All right, what about you guys? I like myself.
Luke, pat him on the back. That was tough.
That was
for him.
that was
I'm
impressive.
sweating and not from the heat.
It's fucking hot.
Come on, what's your best
Do you have-
trait?
My best trait.
Yeah, look, tell me.
I
yours.
think mine's probably similar to yours, but I would
you,
say
you utilize it better.
yeah. That's. I feel like I can commit fully to something,
Yeah.
and be consistent, and show up regardless of
You're 100% obsessive with certain things.
yeah,
AKA this podcast.
Yeah,
pretty much
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that's good,
yeah.
and I don't think I've used it for bad.
Well,
Have I?
you never become obsessed with something to the point where it's hurt you. I don't know. Your shins are pretty fucked.
Dude, we're
That's
getting
fucked,
deep.
That's like the only thing. I don't know that much about the rest of you, but your shins from like overuse and sport, maybe.
Yeah,
That's the only
That's
negative
facts.
that's come from it. But yeah,
Yeah. It's true.
Nice.
But
What's the biggest issue with me?
you.
If you were to tell me advice and I wouldn't hear it, what would you say?
Oh. Look, you asked Stoss his favorite thing because I'm trying to think about you.
Okay.
What's
what
advice
do you
would
like
give?
to?
I
What's
don't
your
know.
favorite thing
I
about
like-
yourself? Is it the size of your dick? I don't know. Could be.
Come on. No,
It's not a trait.
that's definitely not a trait.
Good point.
Bit
Okay.
of maturity leak.
It's kid. That's his thing. It's too immature.
No, I don't know. I think like I just put a lot of time into or like not just people, but like things I value. Like, you know, if I value something, I'm going to put a lot of time into it. Or even if I don't, it's not even a time thing. Like if I value something or want to go after something, or like I'm gonna put that time in and think about it a lot, kind of thing.
That's on the similar
It's the
range of
time-
us then.
Is
Like,
there like give us an example? Is it soccer? Is it
Yeah, like I'm injured at the moment, be out for a year, but yeah, like when I was really going hard, training a lot for that, like that's all I could think about.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to do. Like, and you would have been the same, you know. Back then, like that was
early days, yeah.
people go, oh, like he's going to train this afternoon. Like it wasn't just going to train this afternoon. It was like I'm going to go do what I love, like my hobby, like yeah, not just in soccer, but other things like with people. Like if I, value that person or think that person's cool, like I'm going to give time.
yeah.
Yeah,
And, like even things that like like your mates, like you're going to give time to the people that you value, kind of thing. That's what I think. I give a lot of time and give a lot of myself to like the things I'm interested in.
back in the day when I was obsessed with football, like 15, 16, it used to piss me off when someone would say, oh, I don't like training. I just like playing the games. I don't like the training.
Yeah.
It used to piss me off. I'm like,
Especially people that are better than
training
you.
is the best part. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
it's training is where you get better and you can utilize it in the game.
100%.
Like, back when they used to piss me off. As I've grown up, I now don't care as much when people say that because, like,
Yeah.
not everyone gives as much of a fuck as you.
I think that's
But I
maybe
used to
because
get
you're not
pissed.
competitive right now.
I think I'm just more mature. I understand other people won't match my energy if
Yeah.
I'm really into something.
100%. But were you like, I just used to get frustrated at when people go, oh, he's got soccer this afternoon, he can't do this. It's like, it's not, he's just got soccer this afternoon, or he's training this many times a week. Like with school and club soccer, like training six times a week, 2 games on the weekend, like it was a whole lifestyle.
Yeah,
Like,
grade
it was a whole
11,
whole
12
thing.
was fucking just, it was all football.
Yeah.
That was all football.
That was all it was about. And if you weren't like at football, you're recovering or you're watching football or, yeah, it's obsessive. Back to the word obsessive. Like,
I think that's good.
Yeah,
I think that's very good.
it was like, even if I wasn't going to push on and like be the best player, it was something that you really enjoyed and like the people there as well. Again, back to value, like value the club you play for and that kind of thing, which I do.
Yeah.
If I was to give you a piece of advice that you wouldn't hear,
Yeah. It's been a lot
I
of it.
think it would be you're too afraid to do anything.
Wow.
I think you're afraid of taking action on some things.
Like what?
Wow.
You have a very calm, composed
Nature.
personality,
Yeah,
nature.
talk to
But I think that when it comes to doing certain things, there's just stillness. And that often leads to no action until something passes and missed opportunities.
Either I'm
Pass by.
provoked to the point where I can't deny it.
Yeah. Like, okay, with the marathon.
Hey, I was ready for the
Like,
marathon.
yeah, marathon or
I
like
would've done it, bro.
or gymming or something like that.
He
I
would've
think you're
done it
too
with minimal
composed.
training.
I think you're too composed
Like-
about it.
Yeah, you're right.
To take action.
In the terms of if I don't think I need to do it, like I need to do it, I won't
Yeah.
do it. I won't do it. These compulsions will come to me, these obsessions where I'll make myself do it.
But then again,
But the thing is, you realize that you should be doing some form of fitness.
Oh yeah,
but then
That's the thing.
it
I
then
do
comes back
futsal
to
and
what you
netball.
value.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's if you value that situation.
Health is
Like,
wealth.
that's what it comes back to.
Health is wealth.
It's so hot in here, hey.
It's fucked. Health is wealth.
That's why I go back to the every now and then I'll do like a fad diet thing for a little bit. But for me, I think that works for me because I'm not going to be able to consistent with a lifetime of just being a really good eater. I fucking that'll be tough. That'll be tough for me to like not ever binge out on shit. Like there's something there I need to work through.
I think there's balance. You don't need to be chicken and veggies, tuna and rice.
Yeah. But then being able to not eat those 2 bags of lollies on the way home from work.
Come on,
That's
tell
where the
me,
addiction
tell me it's 2
component-
bags.
It was at the peak. This is what happened. Like I've discussed this before, but the week before I start doing something, it's because I've started doing like not just a bag of lollies like once a week after work. I'm going 2 bags of lollies for a whole week.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck me.
That's
cuz.
crazy.
I gotta get out of here. I gotta start
Yeah.
doing something about it.
If I was to tell you something that you wouldn't hear, like a
Yeah,
piece of
go on,
advice,
go
I
on.
think. Actually, I've told you before, but I think you're too proud, or you have too
Yeah.
much pride
Passion.
that it.
That's
like,
my biggest trait. I'm
that
so
if
passionate.
someone tries to diss you,
Forget
or,
what I said before.
or something you love,
Yeah.
you automatically
Yeah.
are revved to the fucking tits.
Dude, yeah. Forget what we said before. Like, my biggest thing is passion.
No, stop. What you said
It's
before,
passion.
I think it's the same. I think it's a
passion.
double-edged sword.
You described
Yeah,
passion.
I'm just passionate about, like, so many things.
But I think
I think you're
your
right.
lack of ability to let go when
Oh.
really someone's saying that your shirt looks like shit,
Oh,
or
bro.
like whether at a nightclub
Dude.
or whatever it may be, just your lack of ability to let it go.
Oh, come on, Luke. Don't bring that back up.
I won't go no more.
Yeah, no more about that story. But yeah, like, I just think, like, yeah, definitely passionate, but like, depending on the situation, like, do you
I'm
think?
trying to fix this because
Do you
pissing me
think
off.
that, like,
I don't like how unstable.
do you think that's a whole thing, like, in general, or do you think certain situations bring that out?
It's
Like,
definitely certain situations.
no, but I mean, like, obviously that situation, but I mean, do you think that passion is like an all-round kind of thing? Because I think it is. Like, I think I'm passionate about a lot of different things.
I think being
so when
able
people
to let
talk
it
shit
go.
about it, it's like you have no idea.
I think being able to let it go is important though too.
Yeah,
Like-
I do have a letting go issue.
Like a stranger telling you something,
Yeah.
or someone that you have their opinion doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah,
Taking that to
Well,
heart
that was
and
probably
taking
the
that
effects of
serious.
alcohol too. But yeah,
No, but even in any sense, I think like taking someone whose opinion you don't value seriously
yeah,
is an issue.
yeah. But I don't even think it's like.
And I feel like
But if it's
you,
their
you
opinion
wear your
about
heart on your
something
sleeve.
Oh, 100%.
And I think that's an issue. And I think you say it like it
Dinner's
can't
nodding.
be,
He agrees.
you
Well,
say it like you say it like it can't be changed, and I think it can.
No, I think it can be changed, but it's like depending on like the situation. Like if you're a stranger trying to tell me about a topic or something that I really know about or really value, and then you're like tearing it to shreds, like my natural reaction is stick up for it. Like
Fight for
even
what's yours.
it's not sometimes it's not even me. Like
Just stand back up.
yeah, like stand back up, like, and it's not even like I hate this word, but like that dominant kind of thing. Like it's not even about I want to be that character, I want to be that but it's not letting.
It's not letting
a-
yourself be walked over by someone
Yeah,
else.
you
Like,
know
they're
what
not
I
going
mean?
to talk shit on something you love because
Yeah.
fuck them. What do they? No. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But
Well,
there's a
like-
point where that becomes like
Yeah, but it's not even like I don't value everything everyone says, but if it's like especially directed at me, like Luke's alluding to the fact,
yeah,
then it's like, well,
certain
like
things
what
trigger.
for? Like what makes you in a situation where you can call me out or you can say this or you can say that? Like, and what drives you to do that? Like, what drives you to go after someone or not even go after someone? In other situations, like people talk to me about like topics or things I'm passionate about. It's like, well, who are you to comment? It's like us on this podcast. Like, who are we to comment on this?
Literally.
And that's the thing. You just got to start to realize like people got to
Yeah.
comment on everything even if they don't know about it.
Am
It's how you
I
react
getting
to it.
revved up now about it? Like,
You guys fucking suck. I heard you. Yeah. But no, Luke, we're gonna lay into
yeah,
Luke a bit.
can
'cause
we lay into Luke now?
there are a couple of things about Luke that probably some advice that would be good worth telling you.
All right,
but
hang on.
it's currently
Let's recap for a second. So we've got passionate for me.
you're passionate.
Yeah, Dino
Me?
is.
Weak bitch who doesn't do anything, has no drive to
Yeah.
do the things he
Passion
does.
is the
just
biggest
flop.
trait.
Like there you go. I'm too comfortable just keeping it as is instead of like pushing the
Yeah.
boundary, going that next step.
All right.
I need to be pushed.
All right.
Luke,
Luke, to
Yeah.
Luke.
You're a bit of a workaholic.
Oh.
I don't think you have enough balance. Personally, like everything is go go go.
It's all
To me,
gas.
that's good.
Luke's
To
favorite
the point
saying.
where you rock up to work and your eyes are like red bloodshot. And it's like, what the hell's going on with this kid?
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
I've questioned a few times what you're doing the night before work and stuff. Like seriously.
But not just that, but like sometimes the ability to listen to someone who's got like a different point of view. You're getting better at it, but I still think you'll always come back.
Yeah.
You always
No,
combat.
all right.
In what instances will that, like, what instances am I not listening?
Well,
Because sometimes you don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's
With me
those
for sure,
instances too.
but you'll come back with like, well, no, I don't think that's true. And
Yeah.
you just like completely shut down
He
someone's
shuts down
perspective.
100%. Luke shuts down perspective about things
Yeah,
that he
like,
knows about.
Well, no, I don't think that's right. Well, no, I don't think that's
It's-
right. Which is
Luke-
like,
Luke's-
it's okay, but it's all the time to some people. They just cop that.
to sum up Luke, it's all gas, no brakes, which is Luke's favorite saying.
Yeah.
He's just got like it's 100 miles an hour. What he's doing at the time is current. 6 months later, he's probably not going to care about it, or it's kind of done. You know what I mean? Do you agree, Dino?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
Like-
you know, it's okay. You're okay still as a person.
Like we still love you, but like,
I mean, I wouldn't say that, but
oh yeah, okay, love's a strong
think,
word.
I think going
You're
all
alright,
in is.
mate.
I think going all in is a great thing. Like
Yeah,
I'm glad.
I think all in's good, but in some situations, like it's you got to have that balance where you're allocating that time to something. Like for you, I think it's I've got something to do, so every spare minute of the day I'm doing that.
that's good.
it's
Yeah,
okay.
but-
But long-term mental health, I feel
Yeah.
like
Yes,
that's where it's
thank
going to
you.
get you.
That's what I was
You're
trying to
not-
get at.
You're not going to feel it for probably 10, 20 years,
It's
but
it's
eventually I feel
you put
like...
Why?
you put a
What?
lot of time into things you love, which is great, like which is obviously good. But there's some situations where you got to take that step back, have more of a balance. Like I'm not saying you don't have that.
We're done here.
Yeah, I think we're done. Like
I mean, yeah, I
we're,
think...
we're gonna stop here because it's just
No,
gonna.
no, I mean, we're just being...
It's
talking about
Luke's
each
just
other.
so easy to pick apart.
I mean, it feels like balance creates more healthier mindset.
Yeah.
I appreciate the feedback,
Yeah.
but fuck you for saying do less.
I'm not saying do less.
I'm not saying do less,
Whoa,
just
whoa,
have
whoa,
more
whoa.
balance,
Who said
balance,
do
balance,
less?
balance.
Who said
Balance.
do-
We
who
we
said do
admire
There is
your
no-
work ethic and your.
But there is no balance
Actually,
in greatness.
look, you're very
Think
passionate
that.
about something that's current.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Whatever you're fixated on at the time, it's got to go 150 miles an hour.
But there's no balance
Sometimes
in
there's no
greatness.
thought process.
No
There's no
balance,
balance in
in
greatness.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and as someone who's not great,
Where'd you pull
I'm
that
sure-
from?
Yeah, Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Michael Jordan or Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah.
Both.
Oh, don't bring him
Wow.
up.
Thanks for tuning into the Outspoken Show, number 5 podcast in the world. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You know what to do. Peace.